அகில இந்திய காங்கிரஸ் கட்சியினுடைய ஆராய்ச்சி துறை தலைவர் முன்னாள் மாநிலங்களவை காங்கிரஸ் உறுப்பினர் டாக்டர் ராஜீவ் கவுடா அவர்கள் வருகிற செப்டம்பர் 4ஆம் தேதி தலைநகர் டெல்லியில் விலைவாசி உயர்வை கண்டித்து மாபெரும் டெல்லி சலோ என்கிற மாபெரும் பேரணி நடைபெற உள்ளது. அந்த பேரணி குறித்து ஏன் அந்த பேரணி நடைபெறுகிறது என்பதை குறித்தும் விலைவாசி உயர்வு குறித்தும் இன்றைக்கி பத்திரிகையாளர் சந்திப்பதற்காக அகில இந்திய காங்கிரஸ் கமிட்டி அவரை அனுப்பியிருக்கிறது. தற்போது ராஜீவ் கவுடா அவர்கள் பத்திரிகையாளர்களிடம் பேசுவார்.
Thank you, Gopanaji. Vanakkam. Shri Manikavasagam, who is also chair of our Tamil Nadu Research Department, and all the Congress leaders who are here, friends from the media. I have come to discuss with you a very burning issue that is affecting each and every individual, each and every man and woman, child, family in India. And that burning issue is the issue of price rise. What you have seen, what you are experiencing, is that price rise has worsened in a terrible manner over the last 8 years of Modi Sarkar. Before that, because of international reasons, there would be some price rise, but the UPA government under Dr. Manmohan Singh put in a lot of effort, provided a lot of subsidies to shield our people from the impact of high prices. However, what you see under Prime Minister Modi, under Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, is the exact opposite. They do not care what is the impact on the people of India, what is the impact on families and their children, on their health, on their nutrition, on their education. I will explain. And in the course, after this press conference, we will hand out to you both a Tamil and an English press release which gives you the details of the statistics that I am going to share with you right now. Think back. What was the price of petrol in the market when the UPA government's term ended in 2014? At that time, the price of petrol was 71 rupees per litre. And today, what have we seen? Today, the price has crossed 100 rupees per litre across the country. Similarly, diesel used to be only 55 rupees per litre. That has also crossed 100 rupees per litre. So the price rise for petrol, if you look at it in terms of percentage, is more than 40%. Price rise for diesel is gone up by 75%. Now, if people's income is also going up by 40% or 75%, then the impact will not be there. You will not feel the pinch. It will not hurt you. But what has happened is the exact opposite has been happening across the country. After demonetization, after a very hasty GST, basically jobs are being lost. Lakhs and crores of jobs have been lost. Previously, people would say we are seeing a slowing economy, we are having a jobless growth. Under Modi Sarkar, we have job loss growth. So think about how people are being hurt. They are not getting more income, they are losing jobs, but they have to face higher prices for common commodities, petroleum products, LPG, which everyone wants to use in their home. It used to be 410 rupees per cylinder in 2014. Today, that has also crossed 1,000 rupees. 1,200 rupees it has also crossed in different parts of India. So the price rise there is again 3 times, 150%. This is the fate of the people of India. And even for items that we use in our kitchen, for cooking, for mustard oil, what used to be 90 rupees per kg has gone up to 200 rupees per kg. Wheat flour, atta used to be 22 per kg, it has nearly doubled to 40 rupees per kg. So, milk, again, an item we want every child to consume, used to be 35 rupees per litre, it has now gone up to 50 rupees plus. So across the board, these prices of commodities which are consumed not by the rich, not by the middle class alone, but by every poor family, these prices have gone up considerably, and the government has just sat there and done nothing. I said the government has done nothing. It has done nothing to save the people of India, but it has done enough to damage the people of India. Let me explain. During the UPA times, the price of crude oil, what we used to purchase from Middle East and elsewhere, because India is a big importer of petroleum products, the price of crude oil was, I'm giving you a table for here also, in May 2014, the price of crude oil was 100 rupees. During our time, it had gone $100 per barrel. During our time, it had gone up to even more, $140 per barrel. In spite of that, we were giving petrol at 71 rupees. Modi Sarkar was very lucky. When they came to power, the price of crude oil globally had come down to $40 per barrel. Where is 140? Where is 40? It had become so cheap. 1/3 and less it had become. But we, in the UPA years, we had passed a law which said we will tie petroleum products prices to the global market prices. When the global market prices go up, we will be forced to increase, but we promised that when the global market prices come down for crude oil, we will pass on that benefit to the people of India. But that Modi Sarkar has not done. What they have done is, every time the price of oil falls in the global market, they will increase the tax. They will collect more revenues. Because the people don't know that the price that they are paying in the petrol bunk should be lower. They say, oh, we paid the same thing last month, we're paying the same thing this month. But they should have been paying half or 1/3. There should have been more money in their own pockets for them, to be able to spend. No problem. Yeah. To be able to spend and improve the quality of life of every family. This government did not reduce those prices. It collected more taxes. More taxes from whom? From the common people. Because these taxes on petrol and diesel are not only for rich people driving fancy cars. Diesel is used in buses. The price of transportation goes up. If the price of transportation goes up, the price of food and other commodities goes up. Similarly, my farmer brothers, they use diesel for their tractors, okay? They use diesel for their generators, and if the price of diesel goes up, but then again, the burden on them continues to increase. So, this government is a don't care master. They do not care what happens to the people of India and to their well-being, to their ability to lead lives with some profit, with some comfort. Instead, they basically did not use the opportunity of a fall in global prices of crude oil to pass it on to the people of India, to pass it on to you and me, but instead they pocketed it as taxes, and they used that in a very, very wasteful manner to give a huge tax cut to corporate India. You remember this tax cut to corporate India? Basically, the rich people, the cronies, the big industrialists whose names start with A, all of them got a huge tax cut, but all of us, the common people, have to pay higher taxes, we have to pay higher prices everywhere. This higher prices, what in Delhi they call mehengai, inflation in English, is the real problem. When prices rise, I used to be, before I was elected as an MP, I used to be a professor of economics at Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. And there, I would tell my students about the human impact of price rise. Price rise is not just some number published in the newspaper. Last year, it was 4.4 in 2021. Now it has gone up to 7.78. What that means, what do those numbers mean? Those numbers mean that if you could buy, something for 100 rupees 1 year ago, now it has gone up by 7.7%. That means it will cost you 108 rupees this time. Okay. If your money in your pocket, if your income has not increased, then that same amount has to be spent, on that liter of petrol, whatever it is. See, the BJP government had one chief economic advisor called Krishnamurthy Subramanian. He came up with, he was saying, what inflation? Let me show you the price of a thali. He called it thalinomics. Thali is our food. Multiple dishes, how much does it cost, right? Now, between the last 1 year, the price of the items on a thali has gone up by 42%, okay? So if your income is 100 rupees and you could buy a thali for that 100 rupees, today that thali has become 140 rupees. What will you do as a family? You only have 100 rupees. You will eat less. You will give less to your children. You will give less to your family. What happens afterwards? You will have malnutrition. You will have anemia. You will have more people falling ill. And when more people fall ill, what happens? The pocket will become depleted even more because a lot of the healthcare expenditure in India is still from people's private pockets. So the damage that is done by a government that does not care for the people, that allows inflation to grow out of control, that pockets taxes at the expense of the common man, at the expense of the economy, just because it does not know how to manage its economy, because it gives huge benefits through corporate tax cuts to its own crony capitalist friends. When you do this, you are hurting the people of India. And what do they do for the people? They distract you with something else. They will say, bank thalis, some other drama they will do. So basically, the other drama they do is they keep pointing to the back, to the previous history and saying, oh, they did it, not us. But that is not true. If you talk about petroleum, they keep talking about oil bonds. And there was a time when we in the UPA had to borrow money to issue bonds to buy oil, and that oil bonds have been repaid a long time ago. The amount that they have collected, they keep saying, oh, UPA oil bonds, they've collected 4 times the amount in taxes. Well, then what happened to the other third, or 3 times, right? That is the portion that they have swallowed, that they have allowed their crony capitalist friends to swallow, and they're imposing this burden on the common people. Now, if you think that a government will not impose such a burden on the common people, let me tell you, you will be very wrong. This government does it and gets away with it. And what we are trying to do with our Mehengai Hatao rally on September 4th, this Sunday, is part of a series of protests that we have been conducting in Delhi, in every state headquarter, conducted by every Pradesh Congress committee, to bring attention to the people that this government is squeezing the common man for its own benefit, for the benefit of its own friends. And we've been doing this. There have been times when our MPs went on a march from Parliament House to President's House. They went on a march and they were arrested. So we've been trying to alert the people of India, and this Mehengai Hatao rally is an example of a big attempt on our part to ensure that all of the public gets to know how bad things are and how much this government has failed us, failed the common man, failed the regular family, making us eat less, consume less because prices have gone up. If you want one more example of this, Prime Minister Modi had said he will never increase prices on foods that are consumed by the common people. He will never impose GST, he had said. He had made this promise. Do you know the truth? Recently, they imposed GST on packages of curds, on paneer, on atta, What else? I mean, what are the other things that they impose?
Jaggery.
Huh? Jaggery. Yeah, so there's so many items. One second. Yeah, in every restaurant they've increased the price. And then, okay, hotel rooms below 1,000 rupees, they've imposed GST on that as well. Yeah. So, and who uses hotel rooms below 1,000 rupees? Is it Adani or Ambani? No, it is the common person. Okay. So the common person who has to travel from place to place and to get a place to stay overnight will rent a very, very low cost room, basic room, for 1,000 rupees or less. On that, they have imposed GST. So basically, when Prime Minister Modi says, I will take care of the common people, do not believe him. Yeah, there is nothing in their track record that shows that they have taken care of the common people. We have seen right from the beginning, only when the opposition puts in a huge amount of pressure, only then they will act. You saw during COVID, when after they announced the lockdown without proper preparation, lakhs and lakhs of people, urban migrants had to march back. The government did not provide any transportation. Congress party provided transportation and they came in the way of that also. And then they didn't make preparations for hospital beds, for oxygen, for COVID patients in the second wave. Our Youth Congress President, B.V. Srinivas, heroically organized that for everybody. So this is a government that does not care for the common person. They do not care that people are being hurt by rising prices of petroleum products, food products, what we would eat and consume in our own families. And they do not care that people's health is worsening, that our children and women's health is worsening because of anemia and malnutrition. All they care about is giving tax cuts to their crony friends, and as a result, we end up in a situation where the people of India, the masses, are suffering, and we as a Congress party cannot stand this state of affairs. We are going all out to demonstrate to the public that we care for the people of India. We are the people, 75 years we just celebrated. Ours is the party that built modern India. In the 1940s, there was a famine in Bengal that killed millions of people during the British Raj. Okay? From that period of famine, we ushered in the Green Revolution. We ushered in the White Revolution. We ensured that people had enough and more food, enough and more access to education, the right to education. Where people didn't have income, we gave them the right to guaranteed Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, Manrega. We gave them that social safety net. We created health missions. If you ever want a government, a political party that cares for the people, cares for their welfare, invests in their future, that is the Congress. And in continuation of this, we are preparing. The big rally, of course, is the anti-Mahangai rally that is coming up this Sunday in Delhi. Rahul Gandhi ji will be addressing it. Priyanka Gandhi ji will be addressing it. People from all over India, workers and leaders will be coming to highlight the failures of this government on price rise and inflation. And after that, we are going to be coming to your state, the glorious, famous state of Tamil Nadu, the culturally rich and historic state of Tamil Nadu. We are starting a Bharat Jodo Yatra here. My friend and colleague, TNCC Working President, Shri Jaikumar, Dr. Jaikumar is in charge. He's the coordinator for the Tamil Nadu leg of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. And the Bharat Jodo Yatra is going to start with at the memorial in Shri Perumbudur, and then Rahul Gandhi ji is going to take is going to pay respects at the martyrdom site of Shri Rahul Gandhi. Then he will go to Kanyakumari and start on this long march for unity. Why do we need to do this? Because not only is Modi Sarkar and the BJP hurting people through price rise and inflation, they are also dividing people. I come from the state of Karnataka. young Muslim women are not being allowed to go to college because of the dress they choose to wear. It is not interfering with their studies. It does not interfere with anybody else's studies. But they, in the name of some uniform, they will come in and prevent that. Wherever there are instances of communal harmony, they will try and break that. And I can see that even in this state, one of our former police officers has come and become a BJP leader, and he is also constantly creating division and tension in this very harmonious state. So basically, the Bharat Jodo Yatra is going to take the message of unity. It's going to revive the message of Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru and Indira Gandhi and Rajeev Gandhi and every other leader of the Congress party before us, Kamaraj Nadar, Rajaji, people who built this state also when they were with the Congress. And that is going to be the message. It's going to be about unity, but it is also going to be about the future of the common person, the common family, and the impact of price rise on their lives. So we will be coming together.
September 4th. Mention the date.
One second. We will be going forward, and we look forward to the people joining us everywhere across the length and breadth of the country to demonstrate our commitment to a united India, a harmonious India, unity in diversity, so that we can celebrate the languages and religions and cultures of India. That is what the Bharat Jodo Yatra is all about. Yeah. The long yatra will open people's eyes to the failures of the NDA government. And at the end of it, once people are convinced that this is what India is all about, not the division, not the communal riots, not the imposition of Hindi, nobody wants all that. But that is what the BJP does. And remember, they may have won twice, but we have been defeating them in different states. They have been subverting democracy by buying MLAs. They have been subverting democracy by misusing Enforcement Directorate and Intelligence Bureau and everything. That's how they have been able to do this, through misuse, through subversion, through all kinds of activities that we never did. And these are anti-democratic activities. The magic of India is that the people have always voted out anyone who is tyrannical, anyone who is anti-democratic, anyone who has not been able to deliver good governance. And that is what we see if we are experiencing a shortage of income, if we are losing jobs, and if prices are going up. How long will people stand this? And it is important for the media to cover these sorts of issues, to convey that. You cannot just keep saying Jai Jai when basically people are hurting and there is less food on the table. Because the government could have done something about it. If you say nothing, they will give you the excuse, they'll say the war in Ukraine. Well, war in Ukraine is now giving you Russian oil at a much lower cost. Okay? So, there is no excuse. If the government wants, the government has to actually, according to that law, lower prices. They did not. Okay? They chose to keep us hurting while they were able to give benefits to the crony capitalists with a corporate tax cut.
What is your expectation for this rally? Because people are affected for, like you said, everything. But Congress not strong in the country.
Oh, I'm beg to differ, my friend. Take the route of this rally. You start from Kanyakumari and go up. It goes from Kanyakumari to Kerala, to Karnataka, and then Telangana, Maharashtra, right? In every one of these states, we are strong. We are very strong. Okay, Karnataka, next election, we will come to power. All right. Kerala, we are the leading opposition party. In Tamil Nadu, we are not doing too much in Tamil Nadu, but in Tamil Nadu, we have 9 MPs and 1 in Pondicherry, thanks to our partnership as well. But in Maharashtra, we were part of the government. In Goa, we are a leading opposition party. In Gujarat, we are still there as an opposition party. Madhya Pradesh, they took away our leader and our MLAs. That's how they won. That's why the government is not with us. I'm just... Oh, it is, see, last election, in many of these states, including states we were ruling like Rajasthan, because of some other issues, we ended up getting 0 seats. Okay? That is not reflective of the state of the Congress party. So the Congress party is competitive and in many places directly in competition with the BJP in some 300 plus parliament seats. So we have we have enough and more base strength. We have enough and more dedicated workers. We have good organization. We have enough people support such that in at least half the country and more, we will be very strong. So to say the Congress is weak is you're being misled by the person who is very good at misleading people. Don't be. Look at the facts.
You are a research team. You are a research
Yes.
team.
Sir, when ED
Who is
summons,
the next leader of Congress?
We have just announced an election process. Let us see who all submit their nominations. And if there is an election, I cannot predict. It won't be me. I am not submitting my nomination.
sir, when ED summons Rahul Gandhi, Congress party voters are protesting outside the ED office. But at the same time, they are welcoming the ED right at Manish Sisodia's home. This is hypocrisy.
At who?
Manish Sisodia's home.
See, why is there an ED questioning of us? This is pure political motivation. Okay? What they call the National Herald case, there is not a paisa that has changed hands. Nothing, no transaction. This is how when banks deal with companies that are not doing well, they work out transactions like this. Okay? So there's nothing different. Just for political mileage, they're doing this. So we are basically saying don't misuse agencies and attack us because you want to simply put one tent on our top leadership. But in the case of Manish Sisodia and the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal, all of them, right? Okay, they came to power claiming that they are anti-corruption. But Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal are hand in glove, deeply involved in one Delhi excise scam, with liquor-related scam. You ask them, if they are so clean, how are they living? How are they funding candidates? What happened to that anti-corruption movement of the Aam Aadmi Party? Who did they give the Rajya Sabha seats to and for how much? You just ask, okay? Then you realize that so when we are opposing ED, we are opposing on the basis of justification. Don't misuse it. If you are going after people who are actually corrupt, why will we oppose? That is exactly the point here.
You are saying that Aam Aadmi party is corrupt.
Yes?
In Punjab, your government was overthrown by Aam Aadmi party.
Yes, I know. I'm aware. And then immediately after, when people opened their eyes, in the first by-election in the chief minister's constituency, they defeated the Aam Aadmi Party. Okay, so those sorts of things also happen. All right. So but basically, I'm trying to tell you that in this case, when it comes to Sisodia and Kejriwal, there's golmaal there that is justified. Next.
You have a list of corruption in BJP government.
Oh, in the BJP government, you have, what happens is, the first biggest scam is something called electoral bonds. All right. So what the BJP does is they are collecting money from, they're putting pressure on a lot of corporates, individuals, everyone. These things are not rooted as direct contributions. They make them give it through purchase of electoral bonds, which are officially anonymous. So 90% plus electoral bonds have gone to the BJP, but we don't know who has given it. We don't know what they have got in return. What is the quid pro quo? That is the cleverness of the BJP. So we've not been able to point that out. But right from day one, we saw Rafael, right? What was that? Beg your pardon? Campaign may be a failure. You're asking me for examples of corruption. I'm telling you. So it starts with that, right? So the Prime Minister breaks all rules of defense procurement, cancels an existing order, orders off the shelf, says, I'm not giving it to HAL anymore, I'll give it to Anil Ambani, who is otherwise a bankrupt industrialist, right? And this is the sort of thing. He allows multiple bankrupt industrialists who have amassed, lakhs of crores of loans, non-performing assets. He allows them to leave, go abroad, does some drama saying I'm bringing them back, but nothing has happened. Okay? The basic point is there is enough and more corruption under Modi Sarkar. People who they used to accuse of corruption before they joined, like Himanta Biswa Sarma, who is now the Chief Minister of Assam, what happens is you've heard you've seen these cartoons and jokes, right? If you are accused of corruption, the ED is going to raid you tomorrow. You join the BJP today. There will be no ED raid. You will have a Ganga Snan. People will forget that you will forget. People stick to one point. People will forget that you are accused of corruption by the same BJP. They will make you chief minister. That is exactly what the story is. So a lot of corrupt people come to Karnataka, boss. 40% commission. There are contractors killing themselves because the government ministers are squeezing so much from them. The teachers, yesterday or day before, there's one statement by teachers saying they are being squeezed. There's a big scam in recruitment of sub-inspectors of police. There is no, they're very, very innovative when it comes to corruption. You name the topic, they would have made some money out of it. Even this flags for Tiranga, they would have made some money out of it. I'm not kidding you. And as a result, at least in Karnataka, people are so disgusted by the corruption of the BJP, they will throw them out. They've done it before, we'll throw them out again next year. Okay? You're asking me about Ghulam Nabi Azadji? Well, Ghulam Nabi Azadji is a veteran Congress leader. He was my leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. He has been General Secretary in charge of Tamil Nadu. He has done a tremendous amount of work for the party. So it is very distressing to see that he is unhappy and he has left. We do not think that someone of his stature, his seniority, a person like him who had the ability to walk into the top leadership anytime, he was one of our tallest leaders, we cannot believe that he will make these sorts of complaints. No? So basically, I wish this has not happened, but he has, as people say, he has, enjoyed everything that the Congress party can offer anybody. Union ministership, chief ministership, or leader of the opposition status. He was elected initially from Maharashtra to the Lok Sabha. The party gave him those opportunities, right? So, in Udaipur, during the Chintan Shivir, Madam Sonia Gandhi, our Congress president, in her closing speech, she said, all of us have benefited from the Congress party. We owe a debt to the Congress party. It is the party that has built us up, given us these opportunities, given us a chance to go down in history. She said, it is time for us to give back. So, just at a time when we are doing the anti-Mahangai rally, when we are doing the Bharat Jodo rally, this is not a time to raise complaints and leave the party. This is the time for every Congress person who has benefited from the Congress, who cares about India more than anything else. And the Congress vision of India, a united, prosperous, harmonious India, which celebrates its diversity. It's important for every one of us to stay and to fight against the fascists, to fight against the anti-democrats, people who are trying to divide people on the basis of religion. It's our duty. And anyone who falters in this duty, however senior they are, including the person you mentioned, it is very unfortunate that they have chosen that path when this was the time to demonstrate our commitment. For what did our freedom fighters go to jail? How many freedom fighters enjoyed the benefits of running the country as a free country? So few, so many more. Right here in Tamil Nadu have died and sacrificed their lives. We have to remember them when we think about what is going on and what our commitment to the Congress party and to India, what it means. So that's why really it is a very, very unfortunate and unnecessary development. Come like this. Any other questions?